The pressured society of America, or just the pressure of living in America, or just the pressure of society in general. Most people are forced or talked into doing everything, whether they have the resources, money, or not. Getting married, having children, buying homes, properties, having assets. Most people are forced into that shit if they're not inherited that or passed down from former family or elders. So it looks like home insurance is the new scam. So my question is, most home buyers can't purchase anything in cash, let alone a new vehicle. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, why would you go from renting to home ownership? It doesn't make much sense because you have no money saved up for repairs or anything else. So you're gonna have to take out a line in credit, yada yada. And why would you want to be a slave to a home just to prove that, oh, look at me, everybody, I have a home, but nobody wants to insure it? So let's see what happens. Inside Edition, Los Angeles.
Insurance.
On your side's Christine Lazar is here to explain more insurance issues.
I had no idea this could happen.
Well, a lot of people don't know
Right.
until they go and seek that insurance. And, you know, if you've bought a home, at least in the past, right? The last time I bought a home was in 2015. I didn't even think about insurance. It was like at the very end, you're
Yeah, it
like,
just
oh
kinda
yeah,
happens.
just call
Yeah,
our broker,
pick
change
something.
the address.
Sure.
Well, that is a thing of the past, okay? The insurance crisis is changing how and where people buy their homes. At least 13% of real estate agents in California have had a sale canceled last year because
And that's another thing. Being a real estate agent now is a dead field because nobody has money to buy. Companies are buying these homes in wholesale style. So becoming a real estate agent and having regular customers with jobs, that shit's played out. It's all or nothing. Let's just be real. Nobody's not trying to sign up for mortgages no more and be stuck with that shit. And they're forcing younger people like myself. I'm 37 and I'm still not a homeowner. And it doesn't really bother me much because it's just another liability. I don't want to give up my abundance for traveling just to be stuck with some shit that I can't get rid of if I want to get rid of it.
because of the buyer's inability to find insurance. That's according to the California Association of Realtors.
When Helen Nader decided to relocate from Chicago to Dana Point to be closer to family, her daughter warned her that finding home insurance could be a problem.
And she said, Mom, you need to start looking at insurance. And I said, wait, I'm not even out there yet. Why do I need to start looking at insurance? She said, no, it's very important because...
What kind of daughter is she? How come you didn't move your mother in with you? You see how Americans are? Nah, I'm playing. We're not going to go there in this video, but if this was another ethnicity from the other side of the world, that daughter would have moved the mother in with them. Whether they were Indian, some sort of Spanish descent, Asian, yada yada, you get it.
As out here in California, a lot of companies are not writing policies.
Nader followed her daughter's advice, and she learned the insurer she'd been with for 55 years wouldn't write her a new policy.
I said, I already sold my home. What if I can't get a condo because I can't get any insurance?
That's a personal problem. Should have moved in with your daughter. Save money. But then, you know, as Americans, we're supposed to all be selfish, strong, and independent. I know, I get it.
Nader discovered a nearly 5-year-old insurance claim she had from her house in Chicago was following her cross-country.
Look at that view. I love to have a condo up in here somewhere, but I'm not going to overpay for it and pay $800 a month for, HOA fees and shit. HOA is the new scam too. HOA and insurance companies, the biggest scams of owning a home. Everything is micromanaged and dictated. Dictatorship.
One company came back to me and said they couldn't insure me. I said, what was the reason for it? And they said, well, you have a claim here for water damage.
California
Oh.
purchase agreements now have to have a contingent.
Now look at that. Never buy nothing on a hill or a cliff. They are not going to insure that shit. At least now they're not. It's best to buy something that's on flat ground. Not around hills that could burn up. That type of shit. Not by the water where it can mold easily. Yeah. So you kind of have to look at your demographics, geographic location if you're going to buy something. I shouldn't be giving this advice because I'm not a homeowner, but it's common sense. Don't buy shit in disastrous areas. Duh.
Agency that allows home buyers to cancel their contract if they can't find affordable and available coverage.
Come on in.
Cara Ameer is Nader's daughter and also happens to be a licensed realtor.
How are buyers changing their behavior when it comes to looking for homes?
Buyers are definitely zoning in on the lower risk opportunities in the real estate market. They don't want to be in high or very high fire zones, but that's really difficult today because with all of the new mapping, almost everything is in some kind of fire zone or hazard area.
Nothing's foolproof. Nothing is safe. So what do? Oh, that's right. You could always buy one of those luxury condos downtown on flat ground. You just be living in a box stacked on top of everybody else. No big deal, right? But I always wanted to know, somebody let me know in the comment section how soundproof those new places are. Those new luxury apartments that everybody's buying, the new trend. What is the soundproof levels of those units? I want to know. Are they any better than the units that were apartment buildings that were built in the 80s? Let me know. Because the place I live in was built in 1988. And of course, they're not going to be built like the places today.
In the past, I think we just bought the home we wanted as long as it had the bedrooms and the baths. And it wasn't even really until we were getting ready to close that we went out and found insurance. That's just not how we do business anymore.
You cannot just approach it that way. It has to be upfront and you have to prepare just like how you would get a mortgage. You have to really do your due diligence, do your research in the beginning, and even before you make an offer, you need to investigate the insurance situation, not only on the property, but...
That's a damn headache. I'll just rent the shit until I get tired of living there, and then I can just move out at ease. That way I don't have to deal with a bunch of bullshit. Shit, that's like going through a divorce. That's like... My dad said it's easy to get married, but it's hard to get divorced. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Hopefully, well, a lot of people are going to go through that because a lot of people are going to jump the gun. Most people are impulsive. You got to remember that. They're impulsive with almost everything they do. You bought that brand new Aston Martin. You realize maintenance is a bitch and you don't want it no more. Yada, yada, whatever. That's why you stick to the Japanese makes. They're easy to fix.
for yourself.
Insurance expert and independent broker Carl Sussman warns insurers will look at more than just the fire risk of the property, also the claims history.
Ooh, so they're it sounds like micromanagement, or should I say gatekeeping. So these insurance companies are gatekeeping previous claims. So they'll decide how much is too much and what is minimal. I mean, these homes right here look perfect, but they look fairly new. They're not brand new. These homes look like they were built in the 90s, maybe in the early 2000s, which is cool. Those are my favorite types of homes, the ones that were built in the 90s and early 2000s. If you could buy a brand new home, that's cool too. But the brand new single family homes, they're not spaced out enough. They build them too tight together. They're almost like townhouses. So that's another thing. You have less space in these new places, but the new places, you won't spend as much money on. But then how reliable is the builder? Is the builder going to build the property right? When you buy a new home, it's already insured versus buying an old ass 30, 40-year-old home where all the original shit is still in there and defected. You got to spend extra money on that. So you're going to spend more money buying an old home than you are a new one. Duh.
They look at claims in two ways. One is the claim on the property, and one is the claim from the client themselves.
Never trust a motherfucker that looks like this. Nah.
We're in a marketplace right now where the companies are so squeamish to write anything. They really are sort of skimming off the top. They're looking for properties and from people that have had no claims. And if they're going to write anything, they're going to look for that cream of the crop right now.
In the end,
they're trying to decide if you're going to be a pain in the ass to their insurance company. So if you're a person with all these claims, they don't want you. It's just like trying to get car insurance. You've been in too many accidents, nobody don't want to insure you. Or if they do, they're going to charge you a hefty price.
and Nader had to settle for the California Fair Plan, the state's insurance of last resort.
It wasn't the easiest thing.
but I finally made it through, and I'm happy to be here.
Sussman also suggests you call more than one independent broker when shopping around for coverage because they may have access to different carriers. And of course, bundling helps too. But when you have to get the California Fair Plan, you can't bundle because that's your coverage for fire, and then you got to piecemeal all the rest.
Yeah, like earthquake insurance. They don't cover that shit either. So that's why we don't let these idiots pressure you into, you have to buy a home. It's the American dream. Because the thing is, the same people that are talking you into buying a house, they not going to help you when you fall on your ass and you fall short and get behind on the bills. Nobody's going to save you. They don't want to talk about that part because they're too positive and they're just too fixed on the fact of you buying a house, and they applaud you and everything, not knowing what you're going through mentally. And then next thing you know, you set that motherfucker on fire because you can't afford it and you want the insurance. Then you could take the money and skip the country. How fun. This is Kyle Vale. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.